After Delilah's funeral, I stayed in the darkness. Never being seen for months, I just sat and watched and waited. I don't know what I was waiting for. I often thought back to my training. He and Delilah would say the same words. Emotions will always be your downfall. Stay calm and composed in any situation. Never allow yourself to make an emotional response. Remain stoic, at least during assassination. It's also a good advice for life, so I always held it close to my heart. It began to help me cope with my tragic childhood. I don't want to let Delilah down and go on an uncontrollable killing spree and cause my own demise without getting her revenge. But even after waiting for so long, whenever I think of her, my heart rate increases, my vision blurs, my hands become clammy. I can't quell the fire in my heart. Fuck. I can hear myself breathing heavy. It's echoing in this empty apartment. Delilah always told me I should put more in here, but I hate the feeling of things being cluttered. I threw the vase she brought as a gift against the wall just now. Ha 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 ha, how sad I am. All of this just from thinking of her. I can't stand it anymore. If my volatile emotional state creates my end, then that's all I was meant for. Besides, the sooner I die, the sooner I can see her again. I don't have much to go on. I just have one person. The one that was there with Delilah at her final moments. Gus. There's no way that he wasn't involved in Delilah's death. He goes to see her and suddenly the room explodes. Not only that, but he gets away without a speck of dust on him. During these months I've been watching him, what he does, where he goes, what time he eats. I didn't care if he was going to the bathroom or torturing some poor soul. I never let him out of my eyes. There were nights where I even slept in the alley way outside his building, or on top of the building watching across from his condo. I've had enough watching, enough waiting. My knife hasn't spilled blood in a long time, and he's gonna be my first in a while. He should be honored to die by my hands. I'm not stupid. I know that Gus's entourage stays with him at all times. I have 2 guns on me as well, with backup magazines. I'll tear through them and it'll leave just me and Gus. My anger really has gotten the better of me. I waited until I saw Gus walk into the building he runs his business out of. They try to pretend they are real estate moguls, but they are nothing more than rats that learn to put on suits and speak English. Had I thought straight, I would have noticed Gus was alone as he walked in. But I didn't even put it in my mind. I walked out the alley, 2 pistols in my hands, and walked right through the front door ready for a firefight. But there was no one there. Not one soul. Not the receptionist. Not a bodyguard. Even the fucking janitor was gone. This motherfucker is playing with me. Does he think I'm some helpless little girl? The same stupid fuck who had to use a bomb to kill a woman. Now all of a sudden, he grew the balls to fucking face someone like a man. He thinks of me so different than Delilah, that I'm just some flower that was holding on her pants leg. He's gonna learn that roses have thorns and falling into a rose bush hurts like hell. Ha, I can't catch my breath. I'm right in front of his door. How did I not notice? I just walked through the entire building and didn't check my surroundings at all. Had there been anyone in this building, they could have taken me out. A fucking child with a Nerf gun could have gotten shots on me before I even noticed. I noticed water on my hand that's gripped the door handle. It's my tears. God damn it. My family been taken from me again, and once again I'm just crying, hiding from the world. Hoping no one sees me. Holding a knife by my side, hoping that it protects me. I haven't changed at all from the child shivering, wrapped in blankets. But that all ends today. That all ends once I open this door. I'll get my answers from Gus, and then I'll put my knife right through his fucking Adam's apple. I want to hear every last gurgle as he tries to take his last breath. As I shoved the door open, Gus was there standing over his desk with his back turned. He went to take a sip of his whiskey, and I ran. I lunged at Gus, jumped on his back, slammed his head into the desk, and put my knife to his throat. I just stood there in silence. I wanted to say words, but couldn't. I know if I would have spoken that moment, nothing would have come out. I was already sobbing internally. Had I opened my mouth, it would have been like seeing a dam burst. But Gus said one thing that snapped me back into reality. One sentence. Well, if it isn't Delilah's little sister, who would have thought that Lillith would be the one to take revenge for a Valkyrie? How do you know that name? How do you know that name? Why is your filthy mouth saying her name? Maybe you didn't know your sister, as well as you thought. Shut up, I yelled as I stabbed my knife into the desk, cutting his cheek. Why did you kill Delilah? What did she do to you to deserve that? I didn't kill her. Shut the fuck up. I know it was you. You two were the only ones in that room. Who else could it have been? It wasn't me, Lillith. Then why were you there? Why were you the one that came out of the room without a scratch on you? I grabbed my knife again and poked it into his neck. Blood ran down and dripped on the desk. Delilah pushed me out of the way, is what he said. Delilah saved me, and all I could do was watch as she died. When the explosion happened, my guys ran in right away and pulled me out. They knew if I stayed, I would get wrapped up in an investigation. And you know me, I don't need anyone digging into the things we do here. When you saw me, I was in as much shock as anyone else. I didn't want her to die either. No, 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 I muttered. You're a lying piece of shit. There's no reason for Delilah to save someone like you. Why would she save you? Why would she leave me behind? For you. I can't believe it. She did it because I was her fiancé, he said. Fiancé, I repeated. Since when? Why would she not tell me? Well, we were only engaged a short while. That night of the incident when I went over. The reason was to propose to her. We had already been dating for quite a while. Delilah never told you because you weren't exactly trying to hide your hate for me. Me and you never even had a proper conversation. You were important to Delilah, and she was going to call you back to the bar, so me and you can talk. She was excited. She went into her cupboard where she keeps a special batch of her favorite wine. There she must have saw the bomb. She was calm and composed. She always is, or was. She turned around calmly and quickly rushed towards me and pushed me with all her strength. I went flying towards the door. She just stood there smiling. She mouthed, "I love you." Then suddenly there was an explosion. I couldn't do anything but sit there on the ground in shock. I didn't even run towards her, can you believe that? I claim I love her, yet the one that rushed to her and everything was you. As I got dragged away, with a ridiculous look on my face. No, I don't believe you. Even if I didn't like you, Delilah would still tell me. Lillith, look around you. You've been tracking me for weeks, I knew, and let it continue. Your emotions have been left a wreck since Delilah left. I know you needed something to hold on to, so I let that something be your hate for me. I knew you thought I did it. Hell, I would have thought the same in your situation. You walked in here untouched. There's not a single person here. You think that's a coincidence. I saw you walking towards the office, head in the clouds, guns in your hands. You would have shot anything that moved. Didn't matter if it was one of my men or an innocent civilian in the wrong place, wrong time. I stumbled back in shock. He was right. When I walked in, I was prepared to do anything to anyone. Was my mind even stable enough to discern who's any enemy and who's not? I felt the wall on my back and I fell down and hugged my knees into my chest. To think if it wasn't for Gus, I would have done something I would have regretted for life. So, what am I supposed to do? I lost Delilah, I lost my foundation, I lost my second life. I don't want to go back to that life of aimlessly wandering, hoping one day someone is strong enough to avoid my knife and finally end my nightmare. The money and connections you have made through this life. You never have to become that person again. Honestly, I don't think you can, even if you tried to become that person again. Gus said, He continued. You already laid Delilah to rest. You can just walk away, if you want to, and live the rest of your life in any way you want. No, I can't. Even if it wasn't you, Delilah's killer is still out there. But I said, as I wiped my tears away. I still have to find them. Then help me, Gus said, while you was planning my demise. I was actually finding out who decided to take my fiancé away. There are a lot of organizations here, and Delilah was not good at making friends. She was a domineering woman who did not take a step back for anyone. A homeless man on the curb or the CEO of a company. No one was above her in her eyes. That was part of the reason I fell in love with her. Spare me with your love talk. Tell me who the hell killed her. Before I tell you, take that look out of your eyes. You look like someone that has died already. Remember, you're not Delilah's vengeful spirit. You are a living person here, right now. If I feel that you are going on another suicide mission like today, I won't work with you. So I want you to promise me that you will listen to my words and follow my lead. Fine, I'll follow what you say. Fine, first thing, promise me you will stay alive no matter what. I promise to stay alive no matter what. There, are you happy? Now tell me what you found. Impatient, aren't we? Okay. Gus walked back to his computer, and as he went to open his laptop, suddenly I heard the window break behind him, and Gus grabbed his throat. Blood started spilling through his hand, and Gus fell onto the ground. I rushed over to him and put my hand over his, trying to stop the blood from flowing. I called 911. I don't know why. I knew it was over. There's no way he was going to survive. Gus was dead before I even pulled out my phone. Paramedics arrived quickly, but it didn't matter. Gus was gone. As they pulled the sheet over his head, I just sat there on the ground. I wasn't crying. I wasn't frantic. I wasn't in shock. I was calm as can be. The room cleared and the police taped it off. I was in the hallway just staring at the room when one of Gus's associates walked up to me. Hello, my name is Jermaine. I didn't kill him, I muttered. Then he said, it wouldn't matter even if you did. Gus knew there was a possibility he would end up dead soon, either by you or someone else. He still ordered us to give you the utmost support, no matter the circumstance. Perhaps they didn't think much of Gus's trust in us. I know the information he was going to tell you. I turned and looked to him. Okay, then let's send a wedding party to heaven with them. I followed Jermaine to his office, and he told me that Gus and Delilah were killed by an organization called the Coalition.